One of the most powerful ways to reach a large responsive audience is by having $1 million advertising budget. But if Donald Trump isn't your daddy and you don't have $1 million ad budget, then another powerful way to reach a large responsive audience is through guest blogging. Why is that? Well, it's because whenever a blog owner posts any sort of content on his or her site, it's like offering an endorsement of that content. The blog visitors, especially the most ardent fans of that blog, will read the content, comment on it, share it, and click on any links. The end result is free exposure and targeted traffic flowing to your site. So how do you get your hot little hands on this sort of free advertising? There are two ways you can approach it. You can find blogs that solicit guest articles, or you can approach blog owners and propose that you do some guest blogging for them. So let's take a closer look at these two methods, starting with the one where you seek out blogs that actively solicit guest articles. The best way to find these sorts of blogs is by doing a Google or Bing search. What you're looking for is blogs in your specific niche market, okay? Let's suppose you're looking for clown blogs for people who are looking to learn the art of clowning. You can start off with a general search such as clown blogs that accept guest posts. And there you're going to find lists compiled by various bloggers and other people in your niche. Your next step is to seek out these sorts of individual blogs yourself. You do this by searching for your keyword alongside various search terms that suggest that the blog does accept guest posts. So let's continue on with the clown example, although I sure hope you're not afraid of clowns. If you are, don't worry, just go ahead and sleep with the light on tonight, okay? If you hear a knock at the door in the middle of the night, don't answer. It's probably one of those scary clowns. Okay, moving on. So let me give you an example of search terms you might use to find clown blogs that accept guest posts. Your searches might include clown blog guest post, clown blog guest article, clown blog guest author, clown guest post, clown submit article, clown article submissions, clown article guidelines, clown guest author. Okay, you get the idea? You'll also want to use similar niche-related search terms. So in this example, you'd search for both clown guest post and clowning guest post. Adding the suffix ing and other variations is going to open up a lot more options for you. Or if you were looking for blogs about housebreaking dogs, you'd search for house training guest blogging and housebreaking guest blogging. These sorts of searches should turn up dozens of guest author opportunities for you, depending on how big your niche is. In almost every case, you should see guidelines or instructions on the site regarding what sort of content the blog owner accepts and how they want the content submitted to them. I want you to listen close here, okay? Read and follow these guidelines carefully. Sometimes bloggers are going to put out odd little instructions in the guidelines. They do this just as a way of quickly weeding out spammers or people who don't follow directions. For example, your instructions might include adding a specific phrase to your email subject line. Another example, some instructions might ask for attachments. Some might ask you to copy and paste your article in an email. Some might ask you to submit the article via an online form, and some just want you to send a query. Some might ask you to send a hard copy of your article via carrier pigeon. I don't know. I suppose that's kind of unlikely, but you ought to follow it if it's in the submission guidelines, right? So that's one way to find guest blogging opportunities. The second way to find these opportunities is to directly approach blog owners who don't actively solicit guest content. You won't find submission guidelines on these kinds of sites. You may not even see any evidence at all that anyone other than the blog owner ever posts to the site. Let me make a quick note here. If you do see articles from people other than the blog owner, that's a pretty good sign that the blogger is open to the idea of guest posts. It may be just a teeny bit easier to get this sort of blogger to say yes to a guest article. So how do you approach this sort of blog owner about guest blogging? Well, the best way to do it is by focusing, again, on the benefits the blog owner gets. Because really, the blog owner doesn't care that much about what benefits you get. He's only interested in what he gets. So let me tell you what a blog owner might be looking for. First, the blog owner wants to make sure you write high-quality content. He knows that anything he posts on his site is a reflection on him and his site. So he wants your content to make him look good, of course. Be sure to provide links to samples on your own blog so you can see you're going to give him something good. Secondly, a blog owner prefers exclusive content. He doesn't want articles that have already been posted here, there, and everywhere. So give him an exclusive article if possible. Or at least give him first dibs, meaning that you wait a few weeks before distributing the article further. Next, a blog owner wants to know who you are. Primarily, this means that the blog owner wants to know if you're a muckety-muck in the niche, okay? Don't tell your life story because he doesn't really care. Just give him a sentence or two that assures him you have a good reputation in the niche. Fourth, the blog owner wants to know what he gets. Obviously, he's getting free content, but you should also kick in some added benefit, like the fact that you'll tell your social media followers, your newsletter subscribers, and maybe your blog readers about the guest post, okay? This means the blog owner is going to get free traffic also. Be sure to tell the blog owner how many followers, subscribers, and readers you have on your various platforms. So whether you email a blog owner with a proposal or talk to the person on the phone, be sure to let them know how this proposal is going to benefit them. Now, let me share with you a few tips for optimizing this powerful traffic driving strategy. Tip 1. If you're approaching someone who owns a big, popular blog, then you need to bring as many benefits to the table as possible. You want to be sure to bring your best offer, such as 100% exclusive content and a promise of driving traffic to that article. Tip 2. One way to increase the chances of getting an article on a popular blog is to ask the owner if you can interview him or her. Then after you've completed the interview, you ask the blog owner to post it on their blog. This is actually a sneaky psychological trigger that relies on consistency and commitment to get the blog owner honoring your requests. Once they say yes to one request, which is to be interviewed by you, then psychologically they want to be consistent, so they're going to say yes to your related request as well. Oh, and one other note on this is a great way to get product vendors to send traffic to you. Okay, you just interview them and use your affiliate links inside the interview. Not only do you get back-end sales, but you're going to get fresh traffic if the vendor posts the interview on his or her blog. Pretty nifty, huh? Tip 3 is really simple. Bring your A game, okay? This means you want to put out the best article you can possibly write, and be sure to proofread it. If you're not good at proofreading your own stuff, and honestly most of us aren't all that good at it, then hire someone else to proof it, or use any built-in free labor at your disposal. You might have an eagle-eyed, language-loving spouse or friend. Whenever possible, get a second pair of eyes looking at your content before you submit it. Tip number 4 is to write a good byline. Now, a lot of people think that the byline is where the author yammers on about themselves. But don't waste this space with your autobiography because no one really gives a rip. Instead, use this space as a small advertisement to encourage people to click through to your site. One great way to encourage the click-through is to offer an extension or maybe a part 2 of your guest post. So if someone just read an article about 5 tips and tricks for applying clown makeup, then you can encourage them to claim their free makeup application video by clicking on your link. Okay, so that wraps up this training video where you learned about 2 effective ways to get your articles on some of the best and most popular blogs in your niche. You want to be sure to take advantage of both of these methods.